straight.
Last week we looked at the fantastic Bust-A-Move 2 on the SEGA Saturn, and this week we're going to take a look at the rather rare Bust-A-Move 3. Typically a complete in-box copy goes for anywhere from $50 to $80 depending on the condition. You can occasionally get lucky and find an auction, but those are getting extremely rare these days. So what makes Bust-A-Move 3 so awesome? Well, it's the sheer wealth of content you're getting. The game is absolutely chock full of wonderful puzzles for you to solve. While it's a bit unfortunate that Create a Puzzle mode was removed, the inclusion of hundreds of puzzles more than makes up for it. Much like the rest of the Bust-A-Move series, your objective is to clear the screen of all the bubbles. And speaking of bubbles, I need to get something off my chest here. The Bust-A-Move series is known as Puzzle Bobble in Japan, and that makes so much more sense than Bust-A-Move, considering this puzzle series is based off the arcade and NES classic Bubble Bobble. Bust-A-Move sounds more like a dance game from the early 2000s. Anyways, moving right along. Different colored bubbles are scattered all over the arena, and it's your job to use the bubble launcher and precisely take out all the bubbles. You do this by matching 3 light-colored bubbles together. It's that simple, but in practice, the game gets extremely challenging very quickly. Bust-A-Move 3 features 3 core gameplay modes: Arcade, Challenge, and Collection. Arcade mode works much like you saw in Bust-A-Move 2, where you face off against the computer, your real-world friends, or you can play solo and tackle one stage at a time. The multiplayer is an absolute blast, just like the last time around, and it's why this game is one of the most requested games I get at retro parties I occasionally hold. Challenge mode has you tackling single-player stages with specific goals, such as clearing the stage in as few moves as possible, or taking out certain bubbles without damaging your own, and so on. After you complete a stage, you're graded by Professor Bub, and away you go. Now, collection mode is where it's at. This mode will floor you. There are over 1,000 puzzles in this mode. That's right, 1,000. And no, I'm not joking. These were all made by Japanese fans in a very specific contest that was held quite a few years ago. These can all be played in any order you want and are absolutely incredible. Some of them are super challenging, while others can be completed in under 2 seconds. The fact that there are just so many means that there's always something to do in this game, and it will take you forever to complete them all. Bust-A-Move 3 is a fantastic game that introduces a few new gameplay tweaks in the form of special bubbles, but outside that, the gameplay is exactly as you remember it. The audio-visual presentation is top-notch for the genre and looks silky smooth on the Saturn. The box art is about 1,000 times better than that of Bust-A-Move 2, and the fact that there are 1,500 levels in this game makes this one super easy recommend, even at the higher price point. It's a fantastic video game, a great puzzler, and one of the best games available on the North American Saturn.